Tariffs. Okay, this video is going to be talking about the proposed tariff plan that the U.S. is implementing potentially on Canada of 25%. We're going to be going over what I believe this may mean for Canadian real estate and specifically for the Durham market. The impact of this versus Alberta or Vancouver or Durham is going to be different, right? So this video is going to be going over that. Now, before we go into the I believe the 5 major impacts on the Canadian real estate market, let's just go over what a tariff is for anyone that may not know. Essentially, is a tax that the U.S. or government can put onto goods coming into their country. So, for example, if there's been an American company who's been buying lumber from a Canadian company every single month and spending $100,000 a month to buy Canadian products, instead of them paying $100,000 a month to do that, it's not going to cost them $125,000 a month. It's going to cost them $25,000 more to buy the same product because there's a tariff on Canadian products. So that's what it essentially means, right? It's more money costing you more money. Okay. Now, the impact on the Canadian real estate market, I have 5 points here, and I just kind of go over them step by step. Number one, there's going to be an impact on, I believe, potentially on the interest rates, okay, and mortgages for everybody that has a mortgage. Why? Because the Bank of Canada has been dropping the rates at a good rate over the past year. However, with the uncertainty of these tariffs, the Bank of Canada may just stop that and wait to see what happens. Now, if they do that, it just simply means that everyone who's been on a variable rate, who's been noticing their mortgage going down every single month, that may stop. Now, the impacts on housing, well, when you have lower rates, it makes it more affordable for homeowners to get into the market. But if the rates do not start coming down, then it's going to make it more expensive for those homeowners to get into the market. Okay, so that's kind of an impact there. But essentially, the first one, guys, yes, it's on all the holders of a mortgage. It's going to cost you, you may not see that mortgage payment drop. And for all the first-time home buyers getting into the market, your monthly mortgage payments may be higher than what it could have been if the rates were going down. Okay, so that's number one. So point number two is higher construction costs. If the Canadian business owners that sell lumber, for example, lose that revenue to the States, they're going to try to recoup that loss somehow, potentially making it more expensive for the home builders to buy lumber in Canada. And if the home builders are going to be spending more money to buy lumber, they're going to be transferring that money over to the consumer, which will make their houses more expensive, making it more expensive for us to buy Canadian homes. Okay, number one. Now, if Canada, which they have said, is going to impose a 25% tax on the US products, what's going to happen is that these builders are no longer going to be buying US products because it's costing them too much money. So that means there's going to be more of a demand for buying Canadian lumber, Canadian materials. And if there's more demand for buying Canadian products, that price is going to start to increase, right? And if that happens, same thing. It's going to cost the builders more money to build these homes because the materials is going to cost them more money to buy the materials, ultimately making home prices go up. So that's what may happen for the Canadian housing situation. So time will tell if that actually happens. So number three, job losses. If you're in, and this is why I say Durham is going to be different, because if you're in Alberta, for example, where they have a way bigger lumber industry for jobs than, like, say, here in the Durham region, if there's a huge community there of, say, 10,000 homes, and half of the residents there all work in the lumber industry or the steel industry or those industries that are selling a lot of their products to the States, well, if all the Canadians are losing all their U.S. deals, then they're going to be slashing jobs left, right, and center because the Canadian businesses are losing money. So job losses in areas where they're highly dependent on the U.S. counterparts. Now, if there's a lot of job losses in an area, then you're not going to be able to afford to buy houses. And if you can't afford to buy houses, then home prices are going to ultimately drop down because people aren't buying them. So that's the problem in that situation, is going to be job losses potentially, and it's going to impact those communities where they rely way more on the U.S. exports. Increased cost of goods, of course. So any U.S. products, and this is why Doug Ford said, hey, remove don't buy any liquor from the US, taking all the liquor down from the US and the LCBO is because, you know, it's going to cost what may have cost us $100, for example, for a wine bottle from the US is now going to cost us $125. So all the US product that we're buying is going to be more expensive, which is why everybody now is saying Team Canada, don't buy US products. So this is going to impact everybody differently. I don't even think I buy too much US products, so I don't think it's going to impact me too much. But if you're an individual and everything you buy in your home is a US product, then it's going to cost you more money to buy that same product. And then, you know, when it comes down to buying houses, you know, if there are a lot of individuals who are buying US products and they're going to see their monthly budget go up because they're going to be spending more money to buy these products, they're not going to have enough money, they're going to have less money to afford to potentially buy a house. And point number 5, yes, it may have a negative impact on real estate. Why? Because at the end of the day, okay, if it's going to cost you more money to live the same life you were living before because you were buying US products and now you're spending more money per month, your budget goes from here and it goes down. And when your budget goes down in real estate, you're not able to afford the same things you were going to afford before. So where you may have spent $1 million for a home, your new budget may be $950. And whenever a Canadian economy and people's budgets drop, that means the seller's not able to get what they thought they're going to get because people have a smaller budget, ultimately making the value of homes slightly go down. Okay, but at the end of the day, as of right now, this impact is not as strong as the Bank of Canada, you know, increasing rates to like 6%. Like that made the market go down very quickly. So it's not that type of impact. Time's going to tell though, ultimately what the impact's going to be. But as of right now, I'm not panicking too much for the Canadian real estate market. Hope that helps, guys. Later.